So this video is a little delayed. Last week and this week was crazy, so I didn't film it last Friday. That contract that I talked about in the last video, we did get it signed. It took like another 5 days longer than I thought. The seller was just really busy. I had to keep following up with him, but I did that whole deal virtually. I hadn't seen the house in person, so that was kind of one of my goals, to try to lock things up with a phone. I did go and see it and take pictures and make sure everything was like what we said it was. But yeah, so that's the first one down. As far as what else I've been working on the last week, the SMS has been really consistent. You know, we're sending about 500, 600 a day, new ones. That's been bringing in a few decent leads every day. Some other interesting stuff that we've been trying. I just hired a cold caller. I decided to go with a cold calling company. I just so swamped right now with all the stuff that I'm doing and trying to set up. I didn't want to take that on myself. So I hired this company run by Max Fish, who's an investor and wholesaler out in Philly. He's got a company, he does it for other investors. So yeah, we'll see how that goes over the next few months. I definitely need to bring in more leads. And one of the reasons I want to do that is because I do have a lot of numbers that are landline numbers or that I haven't got responses back via text. So I feel like I've paid for a lot of this data and I haven't utilized a lot of it. There's probably 40% of it sitting untouched. So that's one thing there. Other stuff we've been working on this week, a little more on the virtual driving for dollars. My VA is getting that system set up, in the process of trying to hire someone who will do that full-time, 10 hours a week to start, and then probably ramp that up pretty quickly as long as that works. Two other really cool things I've been trying this week. One issue I noticed in the past weeks is in Jacksonville, so many homeowners are getting cold calls. So especially the older homeowners, even if I had a great conversation with them, spoke with them for 30 minutes, said, hey, I'll follow up with you in 2 weeks, and I realized that I would call them back and they actually wouldn't necessarily remember who I was, which is kind of crazy. And I spoke to a lot of them and they said they're actually getting 5, sometimes even 10 calls a day from investors. So it's like, how can I make myself stand out so they actually remember me just from another person they talked to on the phone? So testing out a couple different things. First thing is, after I speak with them on the phone, if they're a hot lead or someone made an offer, the next day I'll record a video on my phone, just like 30, 45 seconds, saying that something like, hey, it was great to meet you. Something that's really impersonal, talking on the phone. You don't know who's on the other side. So I just want to introduce myself. My name's Mike. I'm down here in Jacksonville. Obviously mentioned a couple specific things that we talked about on the call from my notes. And I've got a really positive response rate for that. I sent only about 10 of those out, and I've had 2 of the sellers get back to me like, wow, thank you so much for sending that over. It was really great to see that and understand who's on the other side. The other thing I've been doing is, after a call, send a quick follow-up message, and I'll send them a link to my website in there. I'm using a bit.ly so I can track them clicking the link, but what I'm really trying to do is get them there. So obviously they see my face on the website, it builds some credibility, but also I do a lot of retargeting from my website. So then they're gonna see me for the next 60 days all over their Facebook newsfeed, and hopefully that helps them remember me more and separate me out from the pack, from all the other investor calls they're getting. The third thing I've done, I've only sent a few of these out, and it takes a bit longer, so I don't know if it's gonna work yet, but again, good conversations, only hot leads, offers. I'm triggering for my CRM, I built an integration with a company called Handwritten. I used to use them to send thank you cards and holiday cards and stuff to my clients. So what they do is you can trigger it from the CRM. They have these machines that handwrite these cards, and they actually look handwritten. They look smudged and all that. And they're pretty expensive. They're about $4 a pop. You can get them cheaper in bulk. So I think paying probably like 3, because I bought a bulk amount at once. So what I'm doing is I'm sending them out. Again, it's a little bit customized. I have kind of some standard stuff, and I insert 1 or 2 custom sentences about our call, and I send that out after those good conversations. Not sending it out really in mass, only to maybe 1 or 2 leads a day who are promising. And that way, it's like kind of another way to stay top of mind. A thing I'm experimenting with is, and I haven't done this yet because it's a bit harder, is they do offer this thing where they'll put something in the envelope for you. So at first I was thinking business card, but then I decided I'm actually going to try out a fridge magnet, because business cards are really easy to throw away. It's not useful. So I was going to put a fridge magnet, again, kind of like my face, my brand, my contact information, maybe, maybe they'll stick that on their fridge, and then 6 months, a year, 2, 3 years down the line, I'll be the person they call. So we'll see. That's a little bit of a longer term play. And they charge like another 20 cents for putting that into the envelope, plus whatever it costs to make it. But again, I'm really only sending a handful of these out a day, so I don't have the expense. It's that crazy. And then I do want to try in the future, as a week later on that campaign, sending them like a packet in the mail. So something like, like a 8.5 by 11, like brown envelope. Again, kind of automated through my CRM, but that has like a packet in there with a letter, information about us, pictures, and not just a normal mail piece or postcard they're getting. Again, it's a little more expensive. That one's a little over $1 through click to mail, but only good leads I'm speaking to that I think, are worth sending this to. Not necessarily meaning that they're going to sell right away, but that they'll probably sell, in the next few months, and they're a good candidate to, for someone that I could help as an investor. Not someone who's got a pristine, perfect house that they should just sell with a real estate agent. So that's a lot of what I've been working on. I've been coming across a bunch of retail leads too, which I've been passing to some agents. So it's been a really busy week. Got a few other solid ones in the pipeline. So it's good to have that first one in the books. And my goal is to get 3 more by February 15th. And I'm shooting this video on January 28th. So I gotta hit the ground running. So that's a quick update for, I guess this is the past 12 days. So I'll try to be more consistent with this and keep this up and running next week.